7:24 in Trinidad and Tobago. Well, again, shift our focus. I mean, this is a really varied show that we're having on this Thursday because we want to focus now on marketing and ways companies are making themselves more innovative. 10 Caribbean has caught the eyes of many in just a short space of 3 years. They're 3.5 years in existence now, to the point where they were recently awarded 3 ADDY Awards for their work in the social media campaign Immortal Beauty, in animation for Caesar's Army, and in industry self-promotion for their anniversary reel. The ADDY Awards are the world's largest advertising competition with more than 60,000 entries annually, so it's something to celebrate, and that's why we have Darien Sobion here with us, the founder of 10 Caribbean, and yes, is another Sobion. I didn't know it had so many of them. Apparently there's one living in Auckland, New Zealand as well. But Darien, good morning to you. Thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, we keep coming. Every time you think you've met all of us.
I think again with that one, there's another one that turns up. Of course, you know Jules very well, yes, with Caesar's Army and so on. And of course, you mentioned your brother living in New Zealand. Just very quickly on that, you were telling me before we actually started our live interview about the challenges, because we look on from a distance and see how well their lockdown has worked in New Zealand. How is he coping down there?
He's managing. The challenge that he really had was just before the country went fully on lockdown. Him and his wife went back to Switzerland to visit their family, and he was supposed to travel just a couple of days before her. So he got back into New Zealand, and she ended up stranded there for the last year and couple
So
months.
She's still outside?
She's still outside. So she actually got a flight back to come on April 1st. He said he still doesn't believe it because it's April Fool's Day. So until she's actually in and safely in, then he'll believe it.
Let's hope all goes well, because
yes,
it can be quite stressful.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the success with these ADDY Awards and what that represents for 10 Caribbean.
Well, it was really important for us as an agency that, as you said, just started about 3 years ago. We consider ourselves a uniquely Caribbean agency. So when we started, it was a team of us. My co-founder, Samantha, is a Jamaican who lived in Trinidad at the time. My creative director, Louville, is actually based in New York, a Trinidadian based in New York. So we had the opportunity to work in over 10 countries over that 3-year period. But for us, what we wanted to do was also stamp ourselves on the international space. So we decided to enter these awards this year, and we were able to win these 3 awards in a short time, and we were really still celebrating it right now.
Tell us about the social media campaign, Immortal Beauty,
right,
was one. Then you had the animation for Caesar's Army. We all know what Caesar's Army up to, all right? And industry self-promotion category for anniversary reel. Tell us about the
right. So I'll speak about the anniversary reel first,
yeah,
because I know the name of that category sounds a little strange, almost like self-praise.
Yes.
What we actually did is on the moment of our anniversary, which was the 10th of October last year, we put together an agency reel which showed all the work that we had done over the first 3 years. So when I see that award, it's actually a celebration of all the work that we had done. It was great to win for that category in particular. Then the one that we did for Caesar's Army was actually an animation, as I say, produced by my creative director, Louville, based out of New York. What we did was, well, Caesar's Army was expanding Bacchanal Road, which was their popular Monday wear event. They were expanding it into 3
Caesar's Army actually wear clothes?
Yeah, of course.
Serious?
Monday wear and costumes.
All right, okay.
So what they did was they had expanded it into 3 events, and they asked us to promote those 3 events, and we did it in one single video. So we pulled together 5 different characters. We dressed them in Monday wear for Bacchanal Road, dressed them in Juve for the Juve event, and then we dressed them in LED wear, which was like bright, reflective stuff. And then we pull it all into one seamless edit, which was a really great campaign for them, and it worked really well for them. And then finally, it was the thing that we did for Immortal Beauty,
right,
which was influencer marketing. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the term.
Remember, I am completely out of social. I understand influencer marketing,
right,
but I am not on social media at all. So
okay,
a lot of the things that you would be talking about might be a different language to me, but go ahead.
Well, I can explain how it works. So,
yeah,
well, Immortal Beauty it's actually run by Catherine Nurse. So she was an emerging entrepreneur nominee last year. She's run the brand wonderfully for over 10 years now. The anniversary is coming up this year. And what we did is we worked with her. She had been representing the brand as the face of the brand for the entire first 9 years. And we worked with her as the quintessential Immortal Beauty. And then we found 9 other influencers, content creators to join her. They were all found from her loyal customers that she had developed over time. And the 10 of them all together became the Immortal Beauties. Okay. So what we did is we did a photo shoot with them together, and then we launched them together. It had a great impact. So it did really well for her reach, her engagement, and then also her actual website sales jumped up as much as, I think it was 1,400% over that 3-month period when the campaign was launched.
And of course, COVID-19 has impacted almost everyone at every level in many different ways. Mm-hmm. What about the impact on your business in marketing?
Well, when we started, we were really focusing primarily on other small businesses, or micro businesses, I should say. So what we found a niche with, of course, working closely with Jules and with my sister-in-law Candice from Candy Coated Experiences, was we found a great niche in event marketing. So we were able to travel the Caribbean and the Caribbean diaspora doing event marketing campaigns. And then, of course, when the pandemic hit, that completely came to a halt. Because we were not only working with Bermuda Carnival, Barbados Crop Over, St. Kitts Carnival, but we were going to these places and actually having a great time with them. What we were able to do when the pandemic hit was really kind of go back to our core strength. So I have about 10 years experience in advertising, which is part of the reason why we call the company 10. And working with different brands. So I worked in Jamaica with Red Stripe, with Digicel. When I came back to Trinidad, I worked with Tobago Jazz Festival, Lucozade Caribbean, Caribbean Airlines. So we were able to really kind of go back to our core and develop digital strategy that would help businesses overcome the challenges that they were facing with the pandemic.
And as we talk about advertising and advertising campaigns and marketing campaigns, what is your view on that as far as the mood of a society? Because for example, I commented on it quite frequently about half-naked women draped over almost everything to sell a particular product. Mm-hmm. Yet we are now in a time in the immediate aftermath of tragic killings of young women and so on. From the advertising, marketing side of things, do you tell yourself, well, look, just hunker down and wait a while, and then we can start to put the naked woman all over the place again?
Well, I mean, it goes back to the point that I was making, right? That it's a strategy-based business. So it shouldn't be that this whole idea that sex sells, so you need to put scantily clad women out there. The Immortal Beauty campaign is a really great example of this. So what we did with that campaign was we found 9 powerful, elegant, stylish women, and these were all like entrepreneurs in their own right, and they were beautifully styled and put out there in clothing all locally made, and it still had an incredible impact because it was an authentic campaign. It spoke authentically to their brand. So it's really a question of trying to find what fits best for the client and then bringing that to the fore.
But are you influenced, which I suppose is the question that I'm asking, are you influenced by social trends, by what is the mood of the country or whatever jurisdiction that you're pushing a particular message or whatever? Are you mindful of that when you're strategizing for the thing?
Definitely. So one of the things that we had worked on, I mean, we didn't submit these for ADDY Awards, but we worked with, so in terms of just digital transformation when the pandemic hit, we worked with Habitat for Humanity Trinidad and Tobago when they were trying to actually do a fundraising. We put on a virtual 5K for them so that they were able to raise funds even though persons had to stay home, which means all you had to do was set your distance and walk around your house and you were able to complete a 5K. We were also able to work with the Volunteer Center of Trinidad and Tobago. They were doing a virtual mentorship program called Me to We. Both of those projects were actually done in partnership with Jules as Cesar. And then even when elections were coming up last year, one of the key things that we were able to work on is, and it was almost as a counteraction to the Cambridge Analytica big hack thing, we worked together again with Jules and we put on The Choice Is Yours. So we went to 6 marginal constituencies, encouraging young people to come out and vote, doing the exact opposite of what we saw them do to us here. So it's always very well informed by what's happening in society.
Is that a risky thing in business to be seen maybe with a particular political affiliation?
No, this was a completely non-partisan effort. So we went out to 6 marginal constituencies, which is why we didn't go to any constituencies that were leaning on either side.
Sure.
We were just encouraging young people, millennials and younger, to come out and make sure that they voted.
And before time runs out on us, what next? How does the landscape look in this time of COVID-19? We still don't know when things are going to start opening up, even with vaccines around and about the place. How does it look for 10 Caribbean at this stage?
Well, I think digital marketing will continue to come to the fore, especially in this circumstance. What we've seen now is a lot of businesses really putting their focus towards digital. So less and less towards traditional media and trying to develop their digital presence as much as possible. So we're optimistic over the next couple of months. The main project that we're actually working on right now is with Massey Motors. They've brought us on to train their 73 sales reps over 5 different branches on social media best practices, so that they can be more effective in the digital space as well. So we hope to keep doing those kind of digital transformation projects.
And before time runs out on us, if anyone wants to reach out to 10 Caribbean to utilize your services, what do they have to do?
They can reach me on WhatsApp. I don't know if I should give out my number, but I'm 323-0948. They can also contact us by email, contact@10caribbean.com. But then you'll find us on social media, always at 10 Caribbean, and then our website is 10caribbean.com.
Darien Sobion, thank you very much for taking the
time
to be with us this morning. Hopefully your brother doesn't get a damn full mama guy on damn full day, which is April the 1st, and that is his goodly lady turns up in Auckland. And indeed, well, we don't have to worry about Jules. Jules has whatever his issue sorted out with Caesar's Army and so on, and all those relatively unclad people that they have for Carnival. Thanks very much for being with us this morning. 7:35 in Trinidad and Tobago. Here we have a couple of images submitted to us by Ian Holland. The first is the Bamboo Cathedral lookout. No, this is not the Bamboo Cathedral lookout. This is something entirely different, and maybe we've got things mixed up a bit this morning, but this is a view from up on a hill looking beyond the Bamboo Cathedral out towards the bay, maybe around the Macareep area. And we have another floral presentation for you, and this is a beautiful floral image that we present to you as well. 7:36, we'll be back after this.
Box the dice will